Morning everybody and welcome. Today you find me walking along the bank and the towpath of the Cromford Canal. This is an old canal. It was built in around 1790. I think it was opened in 1794 and would have carried, I would have thought, mostly goods from the Arkwright mills that are a couple of miles away. It stops there, it doesn't go any further, but then it goes down towards Nottingham, or used to, and it actually goes past Codner Castle, where I was last week, about a mile away from there. But all that is well, empty now. This hasn't been used for a long time. Further down in about 1900, I believe, one of the tunnels collapsed, and so it was impossible to get a boat or pull down here. So yeah, one or two interesting things along here, and I shall come back to you in a short while. Cheers everybody. Well, in putting these floorboards down, I've forgotten, we need a wire, this wire here going through and across. This will be for the heater. We're going to have a heater just here. So I'm just going to drill a hole, feed the wire through, then finish the floor as much as I can. I've also got to leave this corner because these wires we're going to take out and put them through the joist eventually, which will be on the next trip. So yeah, get this done. This will be a 2-minute thing, and then finish off with the floorboards. Okay. So, almost but not quite finished. I'm unable to go right up to the corner because, as I say, I've got to wait for Mark to come and reroute these wires through the joist up into what's a wardrobe, a fixed wardrobe if you like, in the bedroom, which is where all the junction boxes are going to be in the floor below there. So until he can do that, I can't really go any further. I could do, but then I just have to take it all up again, so pretty pointless. But as good as finished. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 3 or 4 floorboards left, so loads of bits. So plenty to get the job done. So on with the next. Talk later. So there are around, I believe, just under 3,000 miles of canals in England, mostly in England. There are some in Wales and there are some in Scotland, but you can't get to the ones in Scotland direct. You have to basically go up there, get a boat and then go on the canals. As I say, I run about 3,000 miles, and a lot of that has at the side of it a train line. At one time the canals were like the motorways of England. It sped things up from horse and carts, getting goods from wherever in England down to London, and then eventually the railways came along, and because the canals are basically in a straight line, yes, they do weave around a bit, but they are basically in a straight line, the trains followed that route, and of course that sped up the ability to deliver goods to London, to the docks, and eventually to America and all over the world. And because it sped it up, the canals slowly declined, and for many years they were unused. Some were closed down, and then I think around about the 1950s somebody had the idea to open them up for leisure, which has happened, and there are more boats on the canals now, mainly for leisure. I had one myself up until recently, a 55 foot narrowboat, but yet it became a big industry, and there are now more people living on boats than ever before, more boats on the canals than ever before, and some of the old type of boats that carried goods are still in operation, and some companies I believe still use them, but they're mainly just for historic reasons. So yeah, you nearly always find a railway line at the side of the canal, and that's the reason. Okay, let's continue. Well, this cottage, which until just a few years ago, and I'm talking 5-6 years ago, was derelict, has now been restored by volunteers to what you see now. It's going to be, I believe, an information centre, a little cafe, and visitor centre, museum and whatever in the future. That's the plans I've heard. But the biggest thing about this cottage is it was built by Florence Nightingale's uncle, and she actually visited here, or so the records say, a number of times to see her uncle, and then went on to be the famous nurse that she was. And you can find her on one of our banknotes. I'm not sure which one it is, it could be the 10 or the 20, but yeah, absolutely stunning piece of work, and it'd be nice to see it when it's open. I think maybe in the summer. Surprising what's on your doorstep, isn't it? Yeah, morning everybody. Nice and fresh today. Just been down to Bricko Depot to buy mainly timber. That's for when I start building in the kitchen corner, but that will probably be tomorrow. Today I'm going to paint this chimney breast, not the fire surround, just the chimney breast. We don't know yet what we're going to do with this. So I'm going to concentrate on that, and when I've done that I'm going to go into the corner and paint over the paper I put down the other day. The paper's gone down pretty okay, really what I expected. There are some bubbles, but I think that's down to the condition of the wall underneath. Not too worried about it because units will go on there which will hide most of them. Any that can be seen I will then splice and glue back down again, so that should get rid of any problems. But yeah, first and foremost I'm going to get on with this wall. Shouldn't take too long. There's a bit of flaky paint around, but besides that it's okay. And then onto the wall over there. So onwards and upwards. Catch you later. Cheers. Well, that's the worst part of the chimney breast done. The rest of it is not bad condition, but this side for some reason was really flaky. Little bits of flakiness on the rest, but I'm not going to take it all off. I'm just going to paint over it once I've cleaned it up. So yeah, that's the worst one done. Let's carry on with the rest. While I think about it, whenever I do anything to do with painting or removing paint in the house, and we've had a lot of new subscribers in the last few months since I did some painting, they always ask the question, you know, what about lead paint? Have you checked it for lead paint and what have you? So for all of those that don't know, in France, you have to have the house checked when you purchase it for lead paint. It's one of the stipulations of buying a house, and if it's found to have lead paint in there, it's also one of the get-outs if you decide you don't want to buy it. This house was checked. I think they found something like 2 square inches of lead paint on one of the doors upstairs. None of this is lead paint, and there's no danger from that. So yeah, it saves you asking the question, I suppose. But yeah, get on with the rest. Catch you later. Cheers. Well, one coat down, one at least to go, maybe two. I think one might be enough. And so I'm going to go and have some lunch. It's about 1:30, 2 o'clock. And then I'll come back and I'll start on the corner wall as well. So yeah, catch you later. Cheers. So I finally reached the visitor centre, information centre, and at weekends there's a cafe here as well. The canal actually goes on for about another 1.5 miles, 2 miles down there, which I'll do another time. And down there you come to the terminus, if you like, of the canal. But yeah, there's a restaurant down there and a visitor centre, and there's some trip boats that come down here giving people rides on the canal and what have you. But that's as far as I'm going today. We're going to start making our way back. We've got probably a good 2 miles or more to walk, but it's a lovely morning, so let's enjoy it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's vid and local walk. This is probably about, I don't know, 8 miles away from where I live. We come down here 2 or 3 times a year, walk the dog, have a coffee and walk back again. So yep, as I say, I hope you enjoyed the vid. More to come next week, again, one on Monday, one on Friday. If you've enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up and leave a comment, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing. It's really appreciated if you do. So yeah, catch you next week everybody. Bye.